Hey guys, JP here. So recently I was asked about my Season 3 extravaganza video, so I thought I'd do a little video explaining where the idea came from and how I made it. So just to give you an idea of what the video is, I'll play a little clip of it now. So it's a video, kind of already got these cute little Eevee plush toys with the Japanese song going in the background with some subtitles at the bottom. And it goes on for a couple of minutes, and yeah, it's just a bit of fun, nice, cute, fun animation thing. Right, so the idea for the video came from this, which is on the Japanese Pokemon YouTube channel, and if you go down here, the song in the background is sung by an artist called Muhan. When I went to Japan on holiday, this song was playing in most of the Pokemon centers, and at the time I thought it was, oh, this is really cool, really cute, really catchy. Yeah, it was just made it nice to be there. So just to play you a little bit of this one, so you can see how it's kind of similar. There you go. So you got similar animations, subtitles. A few extra little bits here and there, but the same song in the background. There we go. So that is pretty much what I based the majority of my Season 3 extravaganza video off of. And I think I managed to do a pretty good job of imitating it. What I'll do at the end of this video, I'll put a side-by-side comparison of both the original version on this Pokemon YouTube channel and also the version that I made, just so you can see how similar they are and where they differ. Yeah, so what I thought I'd do next is give you an insight as to how I made the video. Contrary to what someone else has said, I didn't just get some toys and then green screen it onto a pre-existing video. I actually made everything from scratch. So I'll sort of show you how I made that now. So here we are in Adobe Premier, and at the bottom here you can see the project timeline for my extravaganza video, and yeah, this is there we go. That is all the bits and pieces that went into to make it, and on the side here we have all of the assets that we used as well, all of the subtitles and other bits and pieces that went into it. So I won't go too much into the start bit, but basically the video starts with some in-game footage from Pokemon Red, and I edit some of the text and bits and bobs to make the match play out as I did. So as I wanted it to, and I kind of cheated in the game a little bit to get to the rival fight with a Jolteon to make it sort of relevant to the video. Just a little tidbit on here. So all of a lot of the text boxes have custom text, and this was done using a title that then reveals itself using a band wipe, kind of in time with what it would do in the game. It was a little bit tricky to do just because the amount of text that I was using was a little bit different to the amount actually used in the game, so I had to speed things up and slow them down accordingly. There's got a little white background behind it which blanks out the pre-existing text, so I can put mine on top of it. Another little bit with the text actually in the battle. Where is it? There we go. Enemy Black Thunder used Scratch. Okay, when it does the attack animation, it makes the screen shake like that. Can you see? And so I had to animate the text actually moving with the screen as well, which is something that I didn't quite consider. Yeah, I thought it was quite funny. And then after that, there's a little bit with Sam Waller's head on top with some custom text, and he says,
"In the gym, I start the gym. You know what I mean? You've got to train hard."
Yeah, that was taken from his Season 2 extravaganza video. Yeah, I thought it was quite a nice line. It sounds a little bit cocky and goes along with the text at the bottom. Yeah, my grade or what? So yeah. Anyway, enough of that. But on to the meat of it. There we go. So here we go. The opening screen. This is just something that I did in Paint in about sort of 10-15 minutes to kind of replicate the opening screen at the start of the official video, which I think came off pretty well. It's not quite as detailed like in the actual version. There's a lot more shapes and there's some hollowed out ones with ones inside, and there's just a lot more going on. Everything's a bit neater. There's not these white bits, but this is just done in Paint in a few minutes, and then I think afterwards I added the text in Photoshop just because I wanted to try and get some effects going on with it. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with it. I think he's pretty cute. He's just like, yeah, this is my video, gonna watch it, yeah. Cool. Yeah, so then that fades out using a crossfade into this color frame here, which also got a crossfade because I've got a white background here, just in case I needed to move this about, and also when it fades to white rather than fade into yellow straight away. There you go. So this picture, yeah, it's just a big oval on top of a yellow background. I tried to match the background colors, which I did pretty well. But I think what I probably should have done is I should have got the actual video, overlaid it over the top, and then just copied the colors. But instead, I just tried to do it by eye, going from one monitor to another, which probably wasn't the best idea. But yeah, the effects are still pretty similar, so I'm still happy with it. Anyway, and then in comes Jolteon. We have our first character introduced, and so this picture, it's from a store, an online store that I've cropped out, which took a very long time to do because he's kind of furry, fluffy-ish. So can I zoom in on him? Yeah, so it's actually quite hard to get the edge around him. And I found when I put him in on the yellow, it looked fine. And then when the color changed to blue later on, you can see a big white border around him still. So I had to go over it many times. And you can see there's a couple of different angles of him. So yeah, took a long time to do that. Probably took longer to do that than it did to make a lot of the video actually. And then you see when he came in, he sort of rises up from the bottom of the screen. That's just done with some positional animation, so some motion tweens. So he pops in, and then there's a couple of just frame jump forwards, so it looks like he's popping forward towards the camera. And I just did this in time with the music. Again, if I would have maybe overlaid the other video over the top, then I could have just done it exactly in time with the actual video. But I kind of like in a way that I didn't do that, just because it means like, oh cool, I actually made all of this without sort of cheating too much. And yeah, I think it came out quite well. You actually see that there's sometimes later on where I think my one actually matches the music a little bit better than in the actual original, which yeah, kind of cool. And then there's the subtitles at the bottom in another title layer, and this I tried to make sound similar to what the Japanese are saying, or just to make it believable. So for example here, if I just play here, there you go, Eevee, and then we've got two on our team, Suburanai Hitomi. It kind of matches up with the text here, so it'd be like there we go. So it kind of matches up with the timing of that, which makes it a little bit more believable. You know, if you're reading it, you think, oh, were they actually the words? You know, is that actually a translation Japanese, or you know, is he actually edited it? Not quite sure. Then also we've got all these different layers here, which are the different sparkles that you can see moving about here. Oh yeah, sorry about the audio. If you've done any video editing, then you probably heard a lot of this kind of noise before. I've kind of tuned it out now because I'm so used to it, but it might be a bit annoying if it's your first time listening to it. But yeah, and then these just kind of pop in, they rotate, and then some of them actually shrink in size as they go on. So this first one, the white one, just spins slowly, then this one spins and gets smaller at the same time. They will just kind of pop in and do that. There's a couple of different ones which you can see on the side there. And I think actually the white ones actually had a color change effect on it as well. So I just made it so change whatever color one I used and then to turn it into white, another color. There we go. And then introducing Glaceon again, just a little motion tween to pop in and then jumps forward again in time with the music, and then before going away. I kind of like this scene. This one's pretty faithful to in the original, except for obviously instead of 5 Eevees, it's 5 evolutions. It would have been cool to do all of them, but just because I only had a Jolteon and a Glaceon on my team, thought I would just do these two. Right, then after that, we've got this bit where Jolteon's kind of moving in time with the music up and down. There we go. So in the actual video, there's some little speech bubble or musical note bits going along with it as well. But I think if I would have gone too much into details like that, then it would have taken me years for doing the video. I never would have finished it. So bits like that I kept out because it didn't really add too much to my video. Sorry. Oh, excuse me. But the text again, I've tried to make believable to what's actually being said in the song. So here it says more fun, and in Japanese it says mofu mofu, which kind of sounds like more fun in a way. So it makes it kind of believable. Then here it says kira strats, and in Japanese it says kira kira, which I think means sparkling or something like that in relation to the sparkly eyes. There you go. So again, it sounds kind of believable. These two, just kind of placeholder based on. I need to talk a little bit about making it Pokemon related. So they don't quite work as well, but I think naze. Yeah, 2 words kind of matches up a little bit. Then we've got this neat little bit where Jolteon is introducing himself. He says. He says nice to meet you, and in Japanese he says hajime mashite, which also means nice to meet you. So another sort of way of fooling the viewer that more of the subtitles are actually the correct meaning, because some of it actually is. And he's got a nice little crossfade in just to be like, hey, I'm here. There you go. And then Glaceon pops in with another crossfade as well. And I tried to do it so Jolteon's over that side, Glaceon's over this side, and then in the next bit, Jolteon rushes over to see Glaceon. And I've moved the titles to be next to them so you know who's talking. And then we get a nice little joke about Jolteon being all confident because he did well and stuff, and then Glaceon's like, yeah, but you're pretty frail, because Jolteon's defenses aren't that great. 1 hit usually is enough to kill it. With a little anime sweat bubble, which I think is this one, and it just sort of drips down the head there, which is a nice little detail. Cool. Oh, also the background changes color as well. I think. So that was the tier 1. Is it this one? Yeah. So I got another color change effect going on to change it to this blue color, which makes the joke impact a little bit better. And also there's a similar color change in the actual original video as well. Then we've got another color change which happens in the original, and we've got a little joke about Aggron, for all of its defenses, is actually pretty bad at tanking anything, especially not an earthquake from an Excadrill. This is quite weak to ground, so yeah, it's not gonna live that. And even with sturdy, this has got a mold breaker, so just bashes through it anyway. So the Jolteon is snaps like a twig, just like an Aggron without a Mega Revolution. Here we go. We've got another change color here to pink with a little animation of these guys popping up. There we go. The color change is the same as the original, but it doesn't have this bit with them popping in, but that was a little detail that I added that I liked. Then we got a crossfade. So this is sort of a little, almost a little monologue for Glaceon. She's upset because he really wanted to use the strongest Blizzard in the game for at least for the level of Pokemon that we're doing. And she sort of fades in. It's all kind of dramatic and anime opening style, which again is reflected in the original video, even down to the little lines here that I made in Photoshop, and then just sort of plopped on the thing. And I think, yeah, I changed the color because they didn't quite match up. I think did I do them originally black and then change them to blue to go a bit better with the tone. Also changed the tone of the background here a little bit more to match Glaceon and make it a bit more cold rather than just kind of sad. Yeah, this camera angle works really, really well for it as well, and I think they do the same thing in the original. And yeah, Glaceon, some in-game footage of Glaceon versus Sam Warner's Penguin. Empoleon it just uses hail, doesn't get to use blizzard. It's very, very sad, and it just sort of goes down to a flash cannon there. And here we have so I believe this is a nested footage of the two Eevees. I think actually no, sorry. I'm not too sure what this one is. I'm thinking more of these ones. But yeah, so this just got the screen's got a slow zoom in. Oh wait, no, I remember. So this nested footage is of the matches here, and it's got crossfades for each of them, and it zooms in slowly, sort of as these two are kind of watching the sadness unfold of all of my defeats in the season. You're left with this line of, though we've had a few rough games this season, moves on. Oh, actually, I should mention as well, there was a colour change in the background as well, where it slowly fades into grey. I think on this one as well. Yeah, there you go. So lightness transform goes from the yellow into the grey by changing the lightness and the saturation. And then on this scene, we'll carry on trying fun things. Again, the background's changed colour, and I've got these semi-transparent clouds in the background as well. And here we go. We've got Salamence fading in with Jolteon and a Glaceon on his back. So this is another nested sequence, and what this allowed me to do is have Jolteon and Glaceon on the Salamence plush and sort of animate at the same time. When you nest something together, you essentially are combining them all onto one layer, and then they all move as a joined thing. Yeah, so I think this worked out pretty well. I had to reanimate this loads of times because I just wasn't happy with it. But I think it's kind of works. It's a bit cheesy the way they're kind of fly in and then it slows down and then they kind of zoom off. Could be a little bit smoother, but I think it works well with the music. It's meant to be a little bit more sort of janky and cute rather than, epic CGI or whatever. And then here we go. We've got a nice little bit with Salamence flying off. So that's just an animation. I think rotation, position, motion tween, and scale increase. So it looks like he's continuing from this bit here. So it flies off there as well. And Victini coming out. This is another nested footage. So it's actually, I think if you go down here, then one of these. Oh yeah, there you go. So yeah, that's a nested footage of Victini popping out from the back of the match footage here. Where Glaceon finally gets to use Blizzard to win a match. It was a friendly match versus Crispy of the Kings of Kabutops. It was a really fun game, and Glaceon got to do its thing, so I thought it was quite a nice fit for the video. Then we've got a nice zoom in on Jolteon here, which is exactly the same as in the original video. Which I really like it. This was a massive pain though, because in the actual picture that I used for it, there's a lot of sort of fuzzy compression stuff that comes when the picture's uploaded onto the website and then saved back onto someone else's computer. So I actually had to get this back into Photoshop after after I'd done loads of cropping out on these bits, to then start blurring the fuzzy compression so it didn't actually look too bad, because it gets quite zoomed in. You can see on here there's a few little pixely bits as well, which is not ideal, but I think we managed to get away with it. And then again, we've got the text still kind of matching up with both what's being said in Japanese and also is relevant to my season, because my team had a lot of sort of cute animals on it, which people liken to a menagerie. So there we go. Eevee's perfect for the Toddler Cats menagerie, which they were. Oh god, yeah, it gets quite zoomed in. There you go. Pops back in the background, rotates off, and then we've got I think that's a dip to white. Yeah, dip to white effect, which I use quite a lot in a lot of my all-out pummeling videos, into some footage from YouTuber Velicify, which I just wanted to get some footage of an Eevee using Extreme Eevee Boost, because it kind of, yeah, it's a nice sort of cheese strat that would be cool to try if I ever were to draft an Eevee for some reason. And also the text kind of goes well with the Japanese as well, which I'll just play that now. Yeah, having the Eevee at the end there is the key to sort of make it a bit more believable. And then we've got another crossfade out, and then this animation of a star, which, oh yeah, it's down there, which is rotating. This was very, very difficult to try and match the speed of in the original. This actually also comes out a little bit later than in the original video, because I've got this bit happening where the other one's already doing the star thing. So I wanted to keep the star bit in, but yeah, moved it back a little bit. And you've got Jolteon moving across the screen a little bit faster than Glaceon, because in the game Jolteon is fast, Glaceon is slow. And got the little Eevee plush appearing. And yeah, he then will go off and follow them as well nice and quickly. You can actually see a little bit of him still on the screen on the side here, which actually happens in the original video as well, so a little random detail that I thought I'd keep between the two. And then we've got so this is a video I took on my phone of a picture that I took in Japan, so this is just displayed on my screen for a little live action section using it's an actual plushie, which I do have in real life. Which is another reason why I kind of like the idea for the video, because I actually had the plush. And this live action section mimics a bit that's in the original video as well. And finishes up with the Project E. So that says Project Eevee in Japanese. Mimics the logo using the actual video, and then I just changed the text. Tried to get similar sort of font. Obviously, it looks a bit different in English to Japanese. Yeah, so yeah. The copyright telling to Torricats we're not copyrighted, but I wanted to put the C on there. And see you next season, and then a nice little dip to black at the end, the rest of the music. And yeah, that is the video. So what I'll do now, I'll put a comparison of the original with my one side by side, so you can kind of see how they are similar or different. And then after that, I've got a little Easter egg. I've got my original idea for my Season 3 extravaganza, which is pretty terrible, but I thought I'd add it in just as a laugh. It's got some footage from when I was on holiday in Japan that's sort of taken the mick of Sam Horner's extravaganza video, because he went to Japan in his one a year ago, so I thought, hey, I'll sort of do the same. But anyway, yeah, enough rambling. Thanks for watching, and yeah, hope you enjoy. Hey guys, JP here from the Toddin Torricats, or as I like to call them, the Luton Town Lins, here to bring you my end of season Pokemon review. It's been a good season for us, making it through to the quarterfinals, unfortunately dropping out. There had a good showing in the Salamis Cup as well, but Chris too strong. You know, I'm not losing any sleep over it. It's really comfy beds here. So what I've been doing in the meantime, while I've not been in the league, as some of you might know, I've taken a little holiday to Japan. Just found a close relative of the Kingswood Kabutops. It's the unevolved Kingswood Kabuto. Funny enough, right next to the Kingswood Kabuto, we also have the Voice of Woody Top and his family. So I found the Sandile breeding ground for the Lighthouse Lightways. Only the finest Sandile will be evolved in Crocodile. You can see they're all pretty happy here, but this one here, the turns going to have a bullshit set on it. Just look at him. Look at him! Here we are on the SSN. We've just left Beppu, which I don't know if you can see is over there. It's a hot town. Really, really nice. And we're going to Himajima, which is all the way, like a couple miles that way. Yeah, so I think there's a few castles we're going to look at there. So it should be good. But what I have noticed on the SSN is there's a lot of salt just on the railings. And I feel like this is just made up of the salt of all of Salmon that defeats the season. Really, really salty. But yeah, so hopefully we'll see a little bit less of that in the next season. Don's Decidui. Maybe more like that one. It's the seldom seen Pelipper of the Hanwell Horters. This is where they were chilling out, eating something from that bag. We're at the top of Hachimante Mountain and we found a rock sledoo! Just about to leave Japan. I'm in Narita Airport, and look what I found. It's another Pokemon store.